So what you're going to see is surveillance video, and this surveillance video is going to show inmates deliberately attempting to infect themselves with the COVID-19 virus. You see, that's a hot water dispenser there, and you can see the red circle. The hot water dispenser is for the ramen noodles, coffee, instant coffee, and they're going to start passing the hot water bottle to each other. You see the handoff? And they're going to be sharing swigs from the same bottle of water. Right after this video was taken, a nurse came up to take temperatures, and with the hot water they were trying to falsely elevate their temperature readings to generate a symptom for COVID-19.
So we begin with breaking news out of Afghanistan. 2 attacks, one in a hospital and the other at a funeral. And that one is in Nangarhar province in the east, close to the border with Pakistan. At least 17 people have been killed there after an explosion hit a crowd of mourners. 30 others reported to be injured. The governor says it was a suicide attack. Meanwhile, a hospital in the capital, Kabul, it's also come under attack. Explosions and gunfire have been heard there.
A stretch of Northern California beach is closed today following the weekend death of a surfer mauled by a shark. The attack coincides with several spottings of herds of sharks roaming the coast. Kamerhe reports.
Horror at the beach as a leading figure in the surfing world is killed by a shark. 26-year-old Ben Kelly suffered a horrific leg wound in the attack. Kelly was surfing about 100 yards off a beach in Northern California when it happened. The beach itself was closed to sunbathing during the COVID-19 pandemic, but swimming and surfing were allowed.
They're here a little earlier in numbers than they usually are, and I'm seeing 3 times as many sharks as the previous 2 years.
Some Taiwan reservoirs have slipped below 10% water capacity as drought conditions persist. Water storage at the Zhangwen Reservoir, Taiwan's largest dam, has fallen to critical single-digit lows. The Water Resources Agency has launched cloud seeding operations in an attempt to induce downpours.
Under the scorching sun, the bed of Tainan's Nanhua Reservoir sits exposed and cracked by drought. Over in northern Taiwan's Shimen Reservoir, water levels have receded, leaving the spillway completely visible. You can make out an entire rock formation that is usually submerged, at least partially. Water levels here have dropped under 30% capacity.
South Africa has detected the outbreak of African swine fever in the Eastern Cape province. The presence of the disease in the country was confirmed by the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Toko Didiza. The outbreak was detected following livestock post-mortem investigations at a municipal farm in Amatole district in April. The country has since notified the World Organization for Animal Health about the African swine fever. African swine fever is caused by a virus that affects domestic pigs and wild boar. Wild pigs in Africa, such as warthogs and bush pigs, are natural carriers. The disease kills almost all infected pigs.
Now to Kenya, where a second wave of desert locusts has descended on East Africa. Estimates indicate that it will be 20 times worse than the swarms that made their way through the region 2 months ago. The UN says the locusts present an unprecedented threat to food security and livelihoods.
This is home for the Samburu tribe. They, and since recently, millions of locusts. The terrain is difficult, but locust trackers working for the UN Food and Agriculture Organization only have 2 helicopters. Locals often go by foot. Locust swarms can engulf hectares of land, and as they eat their own body weight each day, the swarms devour practically everything in their wake.
Supporters of Vital Kamerhe sing, "Don't protect any of them." They think it's other politicians who should be facing corruption charges. Kamerhe, the Democratic Republic of Congo's chief of staff, was arrested and jailed last month. Prosecutors say he stole $50 million of public money along with 2 collaborators. Kamerhe is being held in here, the Makala high security prison in the capital Kinshasa. The hearing took place inside, where supporters and journalists are not permitted. Proceedings were broadcast on national television. Kamerhe was working alongside President Felix Tshisekedi until his arrest. They both lead political parties which are in a coalition. Arrests and trials of senior politicians are almost unheard of in Congo.
Plummeting oil prices and an economic slump. Saudi Arabia is rich in oil resources, but the pandemic has squeezed its economy, and the kingdom has been forced to cut costs. Strict measures have been announced to treat the infected economy. The value-added tax, or VAT, stands tripled from 5% to 15% starting July 1st. VAT was introduced by the kingdom 2 years ago to reduce reliance on global crude oil markets. Now it has been tripled. The VAT hike is just one of many such steps. Starting the 1st of June, a cost of living allowance for state workers will be suspended. Such measures were necessary to heal the bleeding economy.
هذه كيف فكرها كيف وصلت لهنا؟ أيهم المرتزقة العملاء عليهم ما بينفلون لهم قرابي خلينا فوق الكاس قالوا لنا كاسينو ما خليناه.
Some big news coming in. Intel reports have indicated that Pakistan-based terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed has hatched a terror plot to carry out suicide missions. A big group of JEM, Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, ready in various launch pads, making attempts to infiltrate. There was a specific intelligence report of Fidayeen terror attacks on May 11th, but enhanced surveillance and security grid has now made movement of terrorists and communication difficult.